Hello. Hi, Pauline. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Nee. Yeah. How's your day today?
Uh, it was great. I have an awesome day. How about all my audience, all the lovely audience come with us today again in another Wednesday night?
Yes, and today in Singapore is a public holiday. Yeah.
Yes. I think it's around the world, everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it's a big day for people who are Buddhism.
Yes.
So just say happy to the public holiday to everybody that stay home,
Yeah.
enjoy your holiday, enjoy the good weather, and wherever you are and wherever you're watching our video, don't forget to drop a comment and join us for our live tonight.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Pauline, how was the last few episodes for you? Did any
Wow.
feedback come? Anybody texting?
I've not received much of the text, but I really like some of the comments that I've actually seen that people are asking questions and really good questions that's coming in, and some even beyond my imagination. How come people are so well educated nowadays with
Yeah,
things on like AI, on leadership, and even so concerned about I believe some of them may not even be as leaders yet in probably in terms of an organization, but the way they ask questions really is preparing themselves to go into future leadership. Yeah,
yeah.
that's why
I
I'm
think
so
that's very advanced, the young generation. I think it's the difference is like for me back then I have to looking for book and read stuff. Now people just scroll up and they can learn a lot of things and they
mm,
can update themselves so quick nowadays. So I think that's exactly the difference for
yeah,
my generation and the new generation now.
and
They
versus
really
my
different.
generation.
Is that the same like your generation like looking for book as well or just me?
I think even I'm not sure about my generation whether people really look for leadership books
Ah,
because there isn't actually much of a leadership books. Yeah, if you look at those leadership, there's like the very famous one I think is from John Maxwell.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, and so there isn't, and this there's another one, Costner and Posner about the I think it's something on some leadership styles and so on, and really I because I was from the Ministry of Defense in the
Yeah.
past. But it talks a lot about leadership. So I was very earlier on exposed to leadership. But I believe in my generation, apart from us, let's say if we are in because I'm in the defense force, so leadership is really important. But in most of the organization, people don't really talk about leadership, especially in the private organization. But in my school days, I learned this thing called being management, how to be a good manager.
Yeah.
And my discipline is in business. So the very first management 101 is about management, and it's talking about POLC, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Yeah, so
And I
this
think
is
it's
yeah.
like perfect for today's topic that people
Yeah,
really ask about that. So
yes,
what's the
yes.
difference between leader and management under your experience?
Yeah, so in the past, when I was young, I thought, oh, managers, leaders, they are the same. But after that, I started to realize there's actually some distinction and differentiation. So just now I mentioned being a manager. In theory, what I learned in business school 101,
Yeah.
management 101 is about planning, organizing, leading, controlling, POLC. And that was the discipline that I came from. And being a manager is like, okay, I have, we term it as staff under me, supervisees under me. So I think that the mindset is a little bit different. It's like, okay, controlling. You see, the word is called controlling. That means we got to plan, we got to make sure that people follow, we have to organize things. And of course, there's this leading part in them. All right. But it is a little bit different when it comes to that leading. It's really thinking that I think the mindset is very different to think that in management, in as being a manager, people need to follow you, and kind of like the empowerment may not be there.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of controlling, but leadership is kind of like different. Leadership is so vast, and it's like, for example, you can be a charismatic leader, you can be a leader that's very dictatorship.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have seen different types of leaders in the world. Like some are soft spoken, some practice this thing called servant leadership, right? Where it's like bottom up approach. Some are consultative leadership. So when it comes to leadership, it really, when we talk about leaders, they don't really control and give solutioning, all right, but they are visionary as leaders. Okay, so every time I think of leaders right now, is like having that big vision over there, and people just follow with a vision. How to do it, we figure it out ourselves. Rather than managers, managers will give you like how to do it and so on. So that to me is like the key differentiation when it comes to leaders as well as managers. Yeah. How
So
about you,
the
Lee? Mm,
I have never learned about the term leader until I come to Singapore. So yeah. I think because in my country, for you to learn something about leadership is very luxury, I have to say, because most of my country we limited by language, right? And that's what the Uncle Lee successfully do. When you let people learn different language, people have a capable of touch more knowledge in the world. So because with Vietnamese, most of our knowledge is in Vietnamese, and it very limited language
mm,
information about leadership. So I only learned that most when I come to Singapore. And when I was young, I thought the owner of the company is a leader, right?
mm,
But now when I'm experiencing that myself, I realize you can be a boss of the company, you can open a business, doesn't mean you are the leader, right?
mm,
And sometimes you work in a big organization, the guy who was CEO may not be a leader, and some small leadership guy in the small office who can manage few people and people follow them and listen to them, that can be leader, right? And
mm.
I think a good example that we were watching the news about OpenAI
Yeah.
when they try to bring down the CEO of OpenAI, right? And the founder,
Mm,
and then everybody say, "Are you kidding me? You book him back, or we all will quit." Right? For me is the form of leader, right? They work for the people. They work. I work for him. I'm not working for you. I don't know who are you. I don't know how much money you pump. If you kick him out, we will left with him. And I think that's very bold. That's a um, very big statement to the world that the title of manager may
mm.
no longer work, and true leader will stand up.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's how I see leader is like people really follow you because of your vision, exactly like you say, and we will support the vision and let figure out together how to make that vision success.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's really, we talk about leadership, it now has got to do with a lot of vision and a lot
yeah,
of clarity. So
yeah,
with that vision leads to a mission. Why? Vision is where I want to go to. Now,
yeah,
mission is why I'm here. What do I want to do on a daily basis? Why I'm here. That's the mission, right?
yeah,
Then this, yeah, the managers will be able to set goals to go to that destination of the vision of the leaders. And the
yeah,
leaders really must be very clear when it comes to articulating this vision. Yeah,
mm,
it cannot be fuzzy. When it's fuzzy,
yeah,
I believe the OpenAI, the vision is really clear. It's just like, Elon Musk and even Steve Jobs, their vision is
yeah,
really, really clear. They know what they want, and everybody buys into their vision, what they want to do. That's what
yeah,
we call a leader. They don't need to tell people what to do. Imagine, how do you really tell like tens of thousands of your team members all over the world of
yeah,
like what to do, it's not possible. But having
yeah.
that kind of vision, I want to be able to do that. So let's work towards it. Everybody buys into it and believes in it, and this is where a successful leader will do. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think nowadays when we sharing a lot about, doesn't mean we look down on manager. I think
Mm,
let's highlight here that leadership still need skill of the manager. But you just don't have to do the job of manager. You just have to
mm,
train someone to take over the job to be a manager in certain tasks for you. But as a leader, you still need to learn a lot of things about managing.
Yes.
You cannot just have a vision and your organization in a mess or the manager don't know how to run it without you
Yeah.
beside, like, oh, you just do this, I don't know how you do it, but you just do it, right? It's not even make sense. So I still think leader is heavy task that you have to learn everything, and then you
Mm.
have to bring down and cut it pieces and small for everybody in your organization to do it successfully for you.
And sometimes leadership may not, how should I put it? Managers comes in the form of, I think, in a corporate,
Yeah,
right? But there are organizations that don't have a corporate. For example,
that's right.
there are organizations, let's say, in the financial industries, in the real estate industry, in the multi-level marketing industry.
Mm,
They are all positioned as individual business owners, right? Running their own, let's say, agencies, running, and as a, let's say, a real estate agent. I am a business entrepreneur myself because this is like my business, right? I run my own business as a real estate agent. Okay. So I don't really report to a manager, although they put down there's a manager, but really that manager doesn't really pay me. The organization doesn't really pay me. I'm paid based on the houses that I've sold, or the commission that I'm making. So this is where, but we still have to have what they mentioned as like the uplines, okay? But and mentors, whichever we call it. And these mentors, the uplines, they are the leaders. They can't manage me as an agent, right? But they can mentor me. They can lead me into for me to achieve my goal, let's say in the real estate agency in this business. Yeah. So this is where leadership really comes to play a part more than a manager. Yeah,
yeah.
I would say
I
that.
think that's why is also have a question similar like that come up for you.
Yes. Yeah. What are the primary responsibilities of a leader compared to those of a manager? For me, the responsibility of a leader, as just now I mentioned, is the clarity of vision. That means a leader is like, you do, if you see the geese, all right, how they actually fly, all right, the V formation. So there must be someone to take the lead. And when
Yeah,
someone takes the lead, he's very clear of the direction. He knows what to do. He's flapping. The rest, all right, follows and leverage on it. So they goes into a direction that's with the flow, right? So this is what a leader, responsibility of a leader should be doing. Have that clarity of the vision, the goals, okay, and to make sure that he or she really persists on and
yeah,
continue this journey. Yeah. But as a manager, really, I would say it is more the execution.
yeah,
Okay, because in an organization, okay, if I put it to a little bit more theoretical, like the strategic, the tactical, and the operation. Okay, so the strategic sense normally is where the leader is visionary, the strategies, and so on, right? And then the managers will do more the tactical part. How do we then as a team? Okay, also the manager need to lead as well. How do I then lead the team to cascade down that strategies, that vision down to people below me, under me, and I know that, wow, this is what we need to do, so that the operational side will be able to execute it. So this is my take of how the whole responsibilities of the leader manager, how it actually compares and how it comes to play. Yeah.
yeah. And one more thing I will add on that I see is leader normally will carry a big motivation and also emotional support toward your team member. Um, Managers sometimes I find they're more task oriented, so they
Mm,
not really care about your family issue or how your whatever your life going on. And as the leader you have to sensitive enough to sometimes give some human touch to the people that work for you or people who are
mm,
follow you, to have a conversation about personal issue, to support them, to motivate them, to make them have energy to go work, and I think that's most of reason why some people they quit the organization because they realize that they lack of support in emotional. Yeah, so that's how I see it as well.
That's why a lot there's always these articles or reviews that put out there. No one leaves a job. Actually,
Yeah.
people or employees leave, managers rather than
Yeah.
the job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Wow, that's
So,
another question. How do leaders and managers build and maintain relationships with their team members?
wow, it's a forever answer, man. It's not easy. I think I still learn up to now how to deal with that. So
Yes.
I,
Yeah,
it's
me too. How to build and maintain relationship? Really, first of all, it's a case of, do we want to build and maintain a relationship?
yeah,
This is the question that maybe a lot of people don't really ask. Does the leaders really want to
yeah,
build and maintain a relationship? That's the first thing. I probably don't know whether all leaders want to build and maintain a relationship. That's one. Some leaders might not want to, okay, or managers didn't want to. I'm here to get a job. I've done my job, and that's it. I'm not here to build a relationship.
yeah,
Okay. Now, if you are talking about building, managing relationship, and you think that is really important in terms of the camaraderie, the team cohesion, I to build relationship is, it all boils down to one word. It's just with your heart, really, deep down, care and concern with a big heart, and be great. I come from an organization right now, and we practice this thing called unconditional gratitude and
mm,
edification. Okay, what does it mean? Unconditional gratitude is, there is a very good culture in this organization that I'm in right now. And every time before, let's say we go up on stage or we have a post meeting, we will always first thing first, which is to send gratitude to, let's say, our leaders or to people who organize the events. So this is where we always have unconditional gratitude in our hearts. This is the first place. The next thing is always edification. Edification means that we always say the good and not the bad, right?
mm,
So how do we build a relationship? Is always to say the good thing. We always say that, wow, you look great in this, in your clothes. Oh, this, you have really done a good job. So we always see the good in people, edification. We edify them. All right.
mm,
So if we continue to edify and really look into the strengths of people, and we really say it out and edify it, that means making it augmented, put it out, let people feel proud about them. Because I always believe in strengths rather than focusing on the weakness. We will all have weaknesses, but if we focus on the weaknesses and we complain about their weakness, it will just, making it bigger. So why
yeah,
not we just edify them and say that, wow, you were really good in this job, you do really well in this area, or you are really talented in this. People feel good, they do it better, and if they have other weaknesses, then other people can come in, right, to complement them. So I think if we work as a team, this is how it actually works. So that's where I think if we continue to do that as managers, leaders, team members around us will like to work with us. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I agree with Pauline, and I think another thing that for me, the tip that I find is success for me is just be honest to your team. I
Mm.
find, yeah, of course, something else you can't tell them. Doesn't mean you lie to them, but you
Mm.
know that they can't handle for you. For example, that for the next 6 months you've been stressed with the revenue of the company, so that's not your employee problem or your team member problem. You as a leader, you need to go and find a way to make money for the business. So I think that's one, you don't have to honest to your team. Doesn't mean you lie to them, you just have to deal it with yourself. But other than that, if you have a bad day, it's okay to say, today not a good day for us to bring this topic up or going to talk about this. Like, give me some time until tomorrow, because today I really have a bad day. For example, like my daughter is sick, or
Mm.
my house have something going on issue, and I really have very stressed night last night to take care of them. And you should don't do that every day, right? That should be one in a month time that it really happened. Then if you can deal with something else, then you should don't bring it up. But other than that, I think the leader, if they let the team member know that they are human too, and their life have issue as well, that's also the way of you to build relationship with your team member, because sometimes your team member feel distant with you because you seem so perfect, right? Every day you look so cool. You don't have any emotional reaction. You have nothing show about your life. I find that's also something scary for the member in the team, right? They don't feel connect to you, right?
Mm.
Unusual. How can be you have zero problem in life?
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
yeah, I think leader we have a lot of problem. We just have more responsibility and huge
Yes.
problem we have to deal with, and we just have to make things work. And we learn early on our journey that the word responsibility is very heavy, and
Yes.
we don't take it lightly, especially we don't go and play mother, we don't go around and tell our members that because of your fault the business is way. So we tend to take everything to us, and also because of that we didn't share much with our team members sometimes
Mm.
about our stress and our burden. So I think if you can have a little bit of human conversation with your team, that's also the way
Yes.
of build relationship.
Mm.
I
And
mean, really, I if I don't have my team, but really, the last few days, my daughter was sick, right? She have stomach flu and
oh, oh, oh.
vomit and shit every night, and my life is just miserable every night, right? But
The
then
life
people
of
don't, yeah. And the morning, you still have to be up, though you have to do your job, right? And I may not do my job at 100% as I used to, so I have to explain the situation because yeah, today the meeting may not be that important, and I'm
mm,
sorry if I don't give 100%. It's not the excuses. I'm just highlight that it really my house, my kid was sick and my helper was sick as well, and
oh,
I become a like complete set of sort problem. Like, so I just give an example only
yeah,
about
yeah.
my story that I realized that it's help. It helped
Yes.
for me because my team will remove certain meeting that is not important, or remove my schedule, or
Mm,
and also make them realize that okay, emergency problem, and if my life has something going on,
mm.
I can speak up and asking for help rather than quit the organization, you know.
So this is where I think that keyword comes in, vulnerability.
Yeah,
It is, we keep thinking, oh, leaders, we should be strong and we don't show our vulnerability. I think
yeah,
in this era, showing vulnerability is actually a strength.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not a weakness. Okay, so I want to highlight this. It's not because we are women we show our vulnerability. We can show
yeah,
it, and men can show. No. Okay, and in this era, I think by being able to show our vulnerability as a leader in front of our team members and let them know, okay, I think that in itself is courage. It's
yeah,
showing courage, and it's the true leader that can show this. Yeah.
yeah,
That's why I think like what you have done is really amazing. And then let me show you our vulnerability. What's wrong with that? Yes.
yeah. It's tough starting when I practice that. I feel
Ah,
like, oh my God, I'm going to let my whole team burden about my family situation. What kind of leader am I? I'm seriously, that's how, when starting, that's how I feel. And then over time, I just realize it's really life happen. No matter how strong I book the mass, for example, you just have somebody in family member pass away, for example, right? Or you have really, really serious cost case that somebody just try to bring you there and tear you down. For example, I just
mm.
lost my Facebook page, like seven hundred
Oh,
thousand. A hacker hack it. So you
wow.
see, so life happened. Like thing keep hit the fan, and then you are like, how do you
Oh,
tell yourself to be positive in front of your team? Your team can tell you lost the Facebook page and the
oh,
700,000 K subscriber, and your face normal. Are you human? It's
yeah,
insane. It's untrue, right? So I think
yeah.
we just have to deal with each other as a team. That we just have to remind each other that I'm here. I do
Okay.
my role. I do my job. I do my task as a leader. Doesn't mean that I know everything better than you, right?
Mm,
And I may need your help. I may need your support. And sometimes life can be this way. And I hope I can help you the same way. I think that's the way of true leader should be
mm,
willing to show
yeah.
up. And like you say, courage to speak your vulnerability.
Yes, yes. I think too many a times the leader like to act tough. We
Yeah.
should- don't need to.
It's
I mean, we are resilient. Okay, doesn't mean we don't show our vulnerabilities. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Right. The next question: can a manager change to be a leader? Well, this
Mm.
is a straightforward answer. My is definitely of course. Yeah.
So, so I have this debate in my class with my professor in psychology class about leader will make or build. And it's like three lesson. He been trying to show me so much sign to show that no matter what happen, leader should show up,
Mm.
right? And he say you can always train a good manager, but you cannot train a good leader. The leader have to show up first, and then with the environment, you shape the leader to be a better leader. But you cannot pick someone and train them to be manager and then ask them to be a leader. So that's what. And he was I learned in Singapore. So the professor was used to
Mm.
beside of Uncle Lee to study
Mm.
about his leadership, and he explained that he like Uncle Lee, he born as a leader. No
Yes.
matter what you try to do, he will be
Yeah.
a leader. He not
Yes.
even leader in his life, he will leader the class, he will leader in his study, he will leader in his job, and he will leader the country no matter what happened, because that's
Yes.
what he's showing up and born at.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, can you change a manager, change to be a leader? In this case, I will have a different answer what Pauline is.
Wow.
Sometimes maybe not. Because I
Mm.
have very good manager,
Mm.
but they still fail to be a leader. Like
Yeah.
many times I give them the role and I step back and I watching from far. It People still work because of me, which is that's a fail as a leader, right? For me, if people stay back organization because of me and not you, it means you are a manager. But
Yeah.
when I step out from certain team, that I realize that without me, they can roll the new member and the person stay back without meeting me, without never see me, without talking to me. They know I'm a CEO, but they never talking to me, and they still working for that person for a year. And I like, okay, so it's true leader. It's mean tomorrow without me, you fine on your own, right? So I would say it's very hard to train a leader to be a leader. It's
It's very.
easy it's
Mm.
easy to train a manager, but it's very hard to train leader, because I find leader is very smart and they have their own character, they have their own way of leading. So to train them to be a leader
Mm.
is already very tough.
Mm.
Manager to assign to be a leader, you can try to do it, but the person have the willingness to continue improve. So that's how I find, like if they sit on a seat of leadership but they didn't learn and have a willingness to learn and improve to be a better leader by themselves, the person that assigned them, if they gone or they pass away or they step to different organization, this person may fell off. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I see it.
I mean, I do agree with you. Leaders are born
Yeah,
to a certain extent. Okay,
yeah,
because you can see it in children. Certain
yeah,
children in school, like in their preschool or primary school, can tell certain children just born,
yeah,
when whatever things they want to be the one. Okay, they want to be the one leading. It's natural. Yeah, there's some who are natural leaders. However, I also believe some people over time have kind of like been molded, or some things have happened, and all of a sudden can really become a leader, right?
mm,
In life, I will never say it's a no. It's
yeah,
really whether the person wants to be a leader, or and just get it that, wow, this is a leadership. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. But definitely I agree with you. Managers are easier to be trained. That's why there's a school for management, right? There's never a
yeah.
school on like leadership, very seldom.
Yeah, that's also my question. Like, why is so tough for us to find about leader and learn about leader, right? And
Because
that's why
leadership,
I'm passionate to bring you up and do this show, because I realize it's so hard for you to learn to be a leader. It's not really a proper channel or school or any course, or even the course you learn, the more you learn, you realize, oh my god, it's not enough until when it's end to learn about leadership, right?
Leadership is about doing.
Yeah,
Leadership is not about like studying, getting a cert. It can't be done. It's
yeah,
about doing.
yeah,
Okay, and even I've led some organizations, and
yeah,
I've led another one. I must say, I just so-called failed in leading one organization, okay, with a few of my shareholders. But I think it's because we are all leaders in our own right, all shareholders. Actually, there's no staff about the leading. It kind of like disintegrated. It didn't work. Okay. So that probably has got to do with my leadership style, or how it's like. So that's where I must say that doesn't mean one leadership style would work in all situations as well. There are times, even though we may be leaders in our own organization in certain places, it could be a case of we are placed in that leadership position. That's why we are leaders. Or another way is we kind of like we are not placed in that leadership position, but people want to follow us naturally. Then we become a leader. Yeah. So there are two forms, and leadership is definitely by doing. It's never by academic. Yes.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It's tough. I'm still looking for it. What the type of boundary should a manager leader should set up with his or her team member? Oh,
Boundaries. Wow.
about the
When you
boundary.
when you talk about boundaries, it's like what the relationship type, private versus professional kind of boundary. Okay, if you talk about those very theoretical, okay, no relationship tussle, no financial tussle. I think that's the two key things,
Yeah,
right? The kind of boundaries, like for example, a manager or a leader with their team members, nothing got to do with financials.
yeah,
Okay, so if I'm in a particular organization, it's either we clearly state that we are shareholders of the company. Okay, do not have a case of I'm the leader in this company and I borrow money or lend money from my team members. Okay, so don't do that. Right, that
yeah,
becomes difficult. That to me is one of the key things. The other one is relationship. Well, sometimes inevitable, yeah, a guy fall in love with a girl and things like that. So it may not, although we say that these things are inevitable, but still, if it happens, of course, the best case scenario is one person should leave the organization. All right,
yeah,
unless it comes to that space of a couple coming together to start this company as founders of the company.
yeah,
Okay, so both are in leadership position, and we have seen that there are couples which come together to start a company or being the founders of the company, and they do really well.
yeah,
Okay, but it's not easy. I must tell you, it's not easy to
yeah.
have that private and
Really,
professional relationship coming together.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Pauline on that because I think that's why almost all organizations have the rule and policy of no relationship in the organization. Not because we don't want you guys love each other, but it's
Mm,
very hard for you to earn respect from other. For example, if tomorrow I in love with one guy and like the guy work with me in the same place, right?
yes.
And
Yes.
everything I do, even I professional, people were like, yeah, she favor her.
Yeah.
Or she favor him, or they
Yes.
are relationship, so they sure do thing behind under the table or whatsoever. That's the last thing you want from your team member to look up to you because they look up to you, right? And that's why we also say that don't shit in the same place that you eat, right? We talk that under the table all the time. Like try
Mhm.
to avoid like 8 billion people in the world. Why you have to be have relationship in the company? And then you have to make a decision. One of you have to quit, right? And it's
Mhm.
tough. It's tough. So don't go to that direction because it's and I know, if you every day meet the same people in the same organization, the relationship will heat up. Is normal, we human. But yeah,
Yes.
I think that's the tough thing about leader and manager. How do you maintain that for yourself,
Yeah.
and then you make sure your team member maintain that
Yes.
professional,
Yes.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so sometimes what they do is if the organization is big enough, there are different departments, not so bad, because in terms of work, sometimes, like for example, let's say in a bank, okay, one
Yeah.
comes from the compliance side, the
Yeah.
other one, let's say, is in probably in finance, doing HR. So probably don't really come together or in different branches. I think, okay, that's really fine. But if it's direct reporting, really this should be off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have that situation as well, where me and my ex-husband, we were in the same organization. That's how we met when we were
Mm.
young, right? And I like what you mentioned, because day and night, working together in the same place and things like that, so relationship build up. So in the end, I leave the organization. Yeah, so this actually makes it easier also for I personally find that we have a lot of conflicts when we
Yeah.
work in the same organization. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I
It's good.
think another thing that boundary about, I think it's more about us, about the person private life in terms of like finance, like you say, right? Borrow
Mm.
money,
No.
lending money, how much you make, how much your income and all that. I think that's something that you shouldn't ask. That's a personal information, or like
Yes.
if they want to come to you and share about like, oh, my wife and me just fight last night, so that's a different, right? Because they want to share with you. But you
Yes.
should don't come and say, oh, your wife's so beautiful whatsoever. So I say all that's you should be learned as a human being. The what make you uncomfortable when people ask you, then you should don't ask other, right?
Mm.
If that makes sense. It's easy. Like if that question come to you and you don't like it, then
Mm.
don't ask other. Like keep maintain at the professional level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that these are the two key things. Like one is financial, the other one is relationship that I can see. Of course, there are some minor ones, but I think these two would solve most of the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Other
Okay.
question.
How do leaders and managers motivate their teams differently? Oh, okay. So this is where I think the biggest difference lies in probably leaders and managers. Both really motivates. If you tell me what's the difference, we can say that there should not be any difference.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, whether I'm a leader or I'm a manager, actually, I can take two roles as well in a position. I can be a manager who is a leader. What's I should in the first place, I don't think I would want to differentiate that I'm a leader, I'm not a manager, or I'm a manager, I'm not a leader. Really, to me, each and every person should know how to lead and how to manage.
Yeah.
Okay, so in certain positions, we lead more and we manage less. Certain positions we manage more and we lead less. Okay, so I think I need to put this up front. All right, there should not be any form of a differentiation that I'm a leader, I'm not a manager. So in different situations, to me, we should not over lead and under manage, or over manage under lead.
Yeah.
So that's another topic, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of managers and leaders to motivate their teams, to me, there's no difference. If the team is motivated, the team is motivated. Okay? Yeah. So it's the same. That's for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I find motivation is the art of send the room. I call it the radar that you have to have inside your instinct as a leader. If today
Mm,
your team feel like down and least motivation to work right, what
mm,
will bring up the joy and the laugh together to make people motivation to work? Maybe order some cake, dessert, or drink for everybody. It's yeah, you don't have to do it every day, but creative, right? Creative way, or maybe few months create one boot camp or whatever
mm,
that make them bonding together, play game together, go
mm,
retreat together.
mm,
Or maybe sometime you make one like Zoom call, surprise them, like
mm,
give everybody inside, have a chat,
mm,
different
mm.
department cross, eat
Yeah.
lunch together. I mean, surprise them.
Yes.
Send them email to say how was your day, get a how was your good day. I think all that small detail human touch as a leader, like I say, it's very hard to teach this, because this is something that the art of you have to feel the people that with you every day. If you see them in the office every day, or if you don't work with them in the office every day, like me, my team most is work from everywhere, right? So we are online, we work online, we work virtual. So I base on the way of the texting with each other, I can send today like how was the energy is, right? Like for me
Mm,
to pump some energy through my text or my call, I send something funny to make them laugh or whatsoever. I think it's the art of the leader that you have to feel it, you have to send it, and then creative. Yeah,
mm,
that's for me. It doesn't matter if manager or leader. You always have the way to motivate your team.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creativity is highly recommend in this case.
Yeah, yeah. Then some of us said, well, to motivate me, just give me higher salary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes money did help,
Mm,
but not all the time though.
yes,
I
it's
used to
short-lived.
work in the place that pay me very high, but every time I go office, I just want to go and drink coffee in the hawker center. Because
Oh,
when I hit the target, I doesn't feel like I want to sit in the office. Right? It
oh.
like, for example, they give me 30 days to hit a target, like for example, how much they ask me. I say cool. So I hate the job so much that I just want to pay sleep, right? To really, I really hate the job that I just want to hit the target and I get the salary because I want to pump for my education. I want to go and learn. I want to
Oh,
learn because I want to get out from that rat race. I want to get out from the office job. So from day one, when my manager, I work in the sale and consultant department. They will give
mm,
me a target. For example, this month you need to hit 100K.
mm.
Cool. I say, at the moment I sell 100K, I can do whatever I want, right? I ask him. He say, yeah, of course, because he think I cannot do it. And I
Oh,
just make myself work non-stop for 10 days. Even it's Saturday, Sunday, I don't care. I pick call, I call customer, I do
mm.
cold calling, and then I meet up client, and by 10 day I close everything, and the next 20 day he give me the next target, and I'm like get lost. I'm not going to work. I don't care, right? Because I hate the job, and that's something that you should don't create the environment for your team. Money, if you book the next target for motivate your team,
Yes.
it may sometimes may not work. Like for me,
Yeah.
it backfire because after that
Yes.
6 months, I quit the job because I realize it's too easy for me and it's boring, and I want
Yes.
something more challenge. And I clearly really when I work that I just want to get the pay slip because I want to learn something out. I want to get out, right? So
Mm.
yeah, so that's my story about sometimes money did not work. Maybe it's not work for me, work for other. Maybe I don't know, but for my
Mhm.
case, it did not work for me.
I
Okay,
see.
we have another question.
Mm. What challenges arise when a team requires leadership but is instead provided only with management? How can these challenges be resolved?
Oh,
Wow.
wow. Okay, it means only want to talk to the boss and don't want to listen to anyone. Have you
Ah,
had it before? I have
yeah,
it before.
of course. So I think there are actually two ways of actually doing it. First, definitely is to coach the manager. Okay.
Mm,
To coach the managers and to make sure that this feedback is being given to a manager, right, about their leadership style. Okay, and the so-called the model answer will be send the manager for training, leadership training, and get the feedback like a 360 feedback, etc. Right. So this is a very corporate kind of an answer, right?
yeah,
The second way, not very corporate, a business answer is if the person really ask yourself this question. I mean, as a leader, as a let's say the leader of the company, if the manager is not motivating the whole team, all right, who should be the one going? Should it be the team or should it be the manager? I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of hard, right? Yeah, somebody has to go. Somebody has to be replaced.
yeah,
Yeah, whether the manager is a nice person or not a nice person doesn't really matter. I mean, that's besides the point. It's not that it doesn't really matter, but that's besides the point. Okay,
yeah,
the manager can be a nice person, but that
yeah,
does not mean a nice person, okay, with a good persona can be a leader. Yeah. So if the person has to leave, the person has to leave the organization or be transferred to another place without
yeah.
leaving it. Yeah.
Yeah.
How,
So
how about you?
I have this a few time, and I learned one thing about this type of person. They somehow they want the leader to know them because they really work good. Like they really do work well and good by themselves individually. And this
Mm,
style of people is very hard with teamwork,
yes.
right? They rather look down on other, or they find other too slow to work with them, and they too smart to do this job, and they will keep create new things for you. Yeah, you
Yeah.
need good talent in your company, but at the same time learn how to deal with the bullshit is something is really tough. Because I mean, I'm upfront about it. I used to need them, right? And now I learned one thing, that this person, no matter which organization they go, they will create the
Mm,
same problem. Not
yeah.
about my manager, not about my leader, not about our team, that we're not good enough. And I think this is come with the next thing I call self-development.
Mm,
Until the person really figured out. So as
yes.
a leader, I have sit down with them. I let them know the issue is,
Mm,
have you ever looked into the mirror and question why you hate everybody? Why you don't want to work with anyone? Why everybody come to you? You don't
yes.
like, you do work so well, but yeah, sure, you go some other company. Do you think anything different, right? And yes, some of them did left and they decide to come back. But when they come back, of course, I don't want to take them. Or some of them, I will decide to separate and let them work alone. It means they don't have to report to anyone. They just deliver based on result, like how much
Mm,
result you've done, because you work so well alone. Then you don't want to deal with people, right? You should don't create more drama for people. So for me, my answer is, if you can let them go, let them go. And if you can coach them like what I just shared, you give them one good conversation first to
yes.
explain to them that, do you confident you change other place, people around there will love you better
Mm,
than here. Since everybody here have a problem with you, like you say, right? So
yes.
if after that conversation they still refuse and they still think that they are the best and everybody else in the company is rubbish, then like you say, it's time to let them go, right?
Yes.
Because if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want
Yeah.
to go together, you have to wait for sometimes you have to wait for people, especially in a big organization. Not everybody is the same speed.
Yeah.
I don't know how lucky someone can fire a whole team at the same speed, right? It's impossible.
Yes.
Everybody different talent and skill, and they contribute in different way in the organization. And as a leader, I think the firmness of aware of this situation, yeah, also take me many years to learn. So that's how I deal with it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Not easy, but it has to be done. It has to be done.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, next one.
How do leader and manager measure success differently? Hmm.
Differently, or how do they measure success? I would say a, a leader, actually, when we know the person is a good leader, you can see from the what we term as the turnover of the team members. Yeah. You see, people love to follow others, right? If this is a visionary leader, he or she is really good. As a follower, I wouldn't want to leave. I want to continue to be with this leader and do even more good things with him or her,
Yeah,
right? To me, that will be the form of a success, right? I wouldn't want to leave that person. I want to continue to work with the person. Even we may not work in the same organization ultimately. For example, like I've seen situations whereby I've let someone and the person is so good that the person can start his own or her own, leave the place and even do even better in another place. I say this is for me a measure of the success of a good leader. All right, whether it's
yeah,
manager or it's leader, to me that's a measurement. As I mentioned, I don't really differentiate like whether I'm a leader or I'm a manager different. No, I don't think it should be measured differently unless we are very clear this is a managerial position in a corporate. All right, but to me a managerial position can take on a leadership position as well. So if the manager has a leadership quality, it just means this particular manager can go high up in the corporate ladder. can even take over a high leadership position. Okay, so the measurement of the success, frankly speaking, is really this person is able to lead the team to achieve the goals and the mission, the vision set by the company. Everything is aligned and move towards it. Yeah, that's the measurement of success. Mm.
Yeah, I think every organization, the success is meaning different, even in manager and leader. I mean, we will have another episode to talk about the difference between leader in spiritual, leader in company, leader in charity, leader in, and they do different because they measurement success different. You
Yeah,
cannot say the monk in a temple measurement success is
profit.
like us, SOP, follow SOP. It's not the same. So
Yeah.
for me, the end of the day, as a leader, I would say
Mm.
that what legacy I leave back,
Mm.
right? What legacy I leave back for my
Mm.
team. It mean here the legacy I left in their heart, that even they left my organization,
Mm. Mm.
they still walk away with like, wow, it was a worth of the journey, and I'm grateful to have you as a leader. I learned so much to be around you,
Mm.
follow you. I learned so much, and now I'm ready to go to next chapter.
Mm.
I
Mm.
would never think of anybody left my organization and say, "You give me a hard life," like you're a shit boss or whatsoever. I think that's this horrible legacy to leave to
Yes.
someone else hard, right? So I
Yeah.
think the success for me, defined as the leader, is
Mm.
if anyone come to your life, short term or long term, as a
Mm.
leader, and they are a follower, they follow you. You
Mm.
give a good impact, good reputation about how you've been take care of them, good contribution, good value you add for their life, or even in the short chapter, you have a good moment with them at human together. Yeah,
Mm.
so that's for me as a leader. I think it's
Mm.
success. Like for me, like Pauline is my leader in the short period of my life. She in the stage. She teaching me so much. I look
Mm.
up to her as a female, like a woman that so fire, and she teaching, and she's so good with speaking on the stage. And I think that's also consider a leader, right? And did I ever think one day I can speak with like the same with her in the same live stream like this and sharing? I would never think about that, right? So it's like
But
you
you
have
did. You did it better than me right now, you know?
oh my god.
You can't you see there are times we cannot say, okay, now I may not be that good. I never like to use I'm not good enough. I may not be that good yet. But
Yeah,
5 years, 6 years down the road, I can be a totally different person. As long as
yeah,
a person is willing to grow, learn and grow and unlearn and relearn, okay, I
yeah.
can share with you 100% guaranteed the person would definitely be better than the yesterday of him or her. Yeah.
Mm,
And
yeah,
to be able, let's say, to lead, like if I really want to be a leader, I'm not born a leader. I've not experienced some things on leadership, but I want to
yeah,
be a leader and I want to be trained on that. I can share with you. This person definitely has the qualities to be a leader because
yeah,
it's a desire. Once the desire is there, I believe the person that can definitely achieve it. Yes.
yeah.
Mm,
It's a long journey and hard work, but I'm sure you can, like, people
yes.
can. Let's
Yeah.
pick one last question of the day. Wow, we have, well, so still have a lot of questions coming. Is it just now we already answered this? No, we haven't. What
Well,
challenge arise when a team requirement leader but is instant provide only? Oh, no, no, this one we answered already.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Already.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let's try another one.
No worries. Mm.
Okay. Did we answer this? I don't think so.
Oh. How do the goals of a leader differ from the goals of a manager? Oh, I see. Well, I think the goals and this is quite similar to just on the question, unless you
Yeah.
have a different interpretation. Because my interpretation of the goals and the success is roughly the same, right?
Yeah.
However, I think a leader, the goal really is to move people, right?
Yeah.
Probably a manager's goal is probably to move results.
Yeah.
You know,
Correct.
things like more. let's say the profits. Let's say like for example, if you strictly based on what the corporate identification of a manager, right? If I'm,
Yeah.
let's say, a sales manager, so what is my goal? Sales targets. Okay. So let's say if I'm a leader of this particular company, right? What is my goal? Is probably more than just a sales target. Okay, because sales target that just doesn't cut it. Because
Yeah.
not only do I want to make sure that there's sales, there's revenue, there's profits, but I need to make sure that the company continues to grow. Now,
Yeah.
to ensure that the company continue to grow, it's not just the current revenue and profit. I must be able to vision the next 3 years, 5 years. Where do I want this company to go to?
Yeah.
So this is the part that probably a leader, I would say, have a longer, long term goal. Yeah,
Yeah.
in that sense. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same with Pauline say. I agree. Leader have the very big vision that
Mm.
they need the manager to book things in place to reaching to the vision, but the vision sometimes too far and too big and too hard to imagination, especially with your team member who lack of experience or they don't see your vision, right? Your job at the vision is simple: book your vision to everybody in your team and let them understand what you try to say, and that's very tough to do, very tough, because sometimes in your mind you can click a lot of things because you travel the world and you learn a lot of things and you know how business run. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean your team have all the knowledge. And then if your team don't have all the knowledge, how do you cut it like sushi? Like how do you cut the big fish become a small plate and everybody have one plate and everybody understand that this your and this yours, right? And the manager will be the job that handle all that plate down and make sure everybody being served,
Yeah.
have their profit at the same time, have their share of the tasks that they need to be done. So yeah,
Mm-mm.
that's how I see the different. So
Yeah.
it both I don't say equally important, but like I say, the leader is still the most important
Yes.
task in the organization. Because
Yeah.
as long as the leader gone, the vision is gone, right? Everybody will, some people whole life don't even have vision. So
Yeah.
they just want a safe job. Most of people just want a safe job. So to find a leader with a huge vision or impact vision, and then willing to book a work together with a team to bring that down, I think it's really really hard to find.
Because it requires a lot of courage to do so.
Yeah.
Imagine if I were to say, like in the past, of course, now we are talking about leadership, those leadership that has huge vision, goals, things like, for example, Steve Jobs say, he wished that each and everyone owns a PC in the home. That's
Yeah.
his vision, right?
Yeah.
So he developed things like that. And after that, he developed like in the iPhone because he would like to have a the instead of a phone with all the functions, he would like a function with a phone in it, like a little mini computer with a phone function in it, rather than a phone function with all the computer things inside there, right? So it's a different paradigm. Okay, but not every leader needs to have that big vision. That then you might say, oh, Pauline, I'm not like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk that has the really big vision of like bring the human beings to Mars. Then I
Yeah.
cannot be a leader. No, no, it's not that. Okay,
Yeah.
so a leader generally is able to visualize a clarity of goals and where he or she wants to go to. Okay,
Yeah.
that in itself is a vision.
Yeah.
Okay, it could be a dream that you have for the organization. That, okay, it can be just a simple exit strategy. For example, I set up a company and my exit strategy is to make sure that I can this particular company is built towards this particular vision and I'm able to exit at this rate. That can be a form of a vision as well, and everybody builds towards it. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's why I say that's more the business side. Okay, and some organization could be just a simple goal of saying, you know what, I just want to touch and impact how many lives in this particular area. Certain, like for example, F&B outlets. Certain people just open up an F&B outlet is to just serve food that provides the most natural and wholesome ingredients. so that people can eat healthily. So that's their vision. So this is where that is what a leader should be like, very clear of the purpose of that particular business. I mean, that's the top leader. And in between those leaders, know what this whole big vision is and really work towards going into that direction. So that to me is what that leadership is about.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Fly again.
Yeah. Time passed so fast. It's an hour.
And Guy, thank you for enjoying a conversation with us tonight. We will see you guys again in the next episode. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe all our channel and also our podcast as well. And we will
Yeah.
see you guys in the next week.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
If you love what you've been watching, if you love all the content that we share with you guys, and if you love whatever video and topic that we share with you guys, don't forget to
like, subscribe, and we are all in the YouTube socials like Insta, FB, TikTok, and remember to watch out for our next video.